Hey everybody, welcome to a Simplified Brewing Basement Edition episode. So what we're going to try to do, is doing some kegging. And what we're going to do, I made this all-grain New Zealand hopped IPA, and I'm going to attempt to throw it through a filter and put it into the keg, and then we'll do our kegging. So what we're gonna do, and this isn't really, I don't think it's manufacturer recommended, but we're gonna go from our fermenter. We're gonna go into this filter. This is a 5 micron disposable filter, and then that little guy is going to go down into our keg. So this is hopefully what is going to happen. Things that could go wrong are I didn't really put it together the way that it's supposed to. So as it is kind of plugged into our spigot here, this might leak out everywhere, and that's going to cause problems. This has happened before, and I think maybe I just didn't have it snug in there enough. So we're going to try it again. If it works, and that's awesome. And if not, then, whatever. So it's still going to come out okay. So I'm not that worried about it. It is what it is. So we're just going to give it a try, because that's why I'm doing it in the basement, because that could create a great big mess, and they're easier to clean up in the basement, or just leave it down here and ignore. So we're just going to open it up, and we are going to see what happens. So here we go. Okay. Not too bad. It is leaking out a little bit. Not as much as I was thinking. So far so good? I don't really know. But we're just gonna let it go. Maybe. I don't know, it's leaking. Let's see. Okay. Well, the theory was there, but it just wasn't working. So, and see, it was getting in through here. Maybe this just wasn't on here tight enough, but it starts leaking out a little bit. So, that's just really unfortunate. Darn. Okay. Well, we'll just have to do something else, and we'll just get it in there one way or the other. What you're supposed to do with this thing is use 2 different kegs. I don't have 2 kegs to use at the moment. I just have the one, because I've got a jalapeno stout in my other keg, so I can't really do that. Just, I think the idea about it is to have your beer in one keg, have it pressurized in there a little bit, and then transfer it into the filter, and then that goes into the other keg. That's how it's supposed to work. But I guess this one just isn't going to work out that way. So I'll just do it the old-fashioned way and just transfer it directly into the keg, and then we'll get our regulator out and start pressurizing. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get it soon. Alright, well, I've got it in the keg. That was disappointing, but it happens. So, who knows? Maybe try something else the next time. So now what we're going to do, we got it in, we got our lid on, everything was already good and sanitized and clean, and what we'll do, this is a pin lock keg, and these are really good. It's pretty much a standard nowadays over the pin locks. If I called this a pin lock, I don't know, I forget. So, well, either way, ball lock keg, good. So, what we have is, this big guy is a little double regulator. So what I can do with this is I can have 2 different beers at 2 different pressures. So because I already have my jalapeno stout already in there, and that is set at a serving pressure. And what I'll do is hook with this guy, and then I'm going to force carbonate this at a higher pressure. So that is a big advantage with this thing is, you can have two different kegs, and you can have them at two different pressures, which is really, really good. So you can have different styles and whatnot, so it's really cool. So what we're going to do, we are going to hook this into the in port. Important thing to know, you don't put it on the out. Thankfully, these things are labeled. They might not always be, but you would know that if you look inside of it, the in, the valve just kind of the inlet just kind of stops on the inside of the keg. With the out, there's a tube that runs from the out all the way down to the bottom of the keg, and that's where your beer would come out from. So what we'll just get this little guy set up. We are not going to attach our tap onto the out. That would be bad if you did. And this is another little something that I've learned the hard way, is if you do attach it on there and you have this pressure up to like 30 psi or something, that is going to pressurize the beer up, and it'll just push its way right out of your tap, and that'll cause a great big mess that you'll find in the morning. So recommend just leave it alone, and when you're ready to serve, that's when you hook it up. So what we're going to do, we got turn on and turn our pressure up. We can hear it. It bubbles around the gasket here, and then that'll eventually stop once it gets that nice firm seal. Just keep cranking it up till you get your desired pressure, and then stick it in the fridge, and then you can just kind of periodically check on it. I like to just kind of sit and wait kind of a person. Other people will shake up the kegs, and that'll actually that helps it carbonate a little bit faster. Because like it could take it to a matter of hours. You could like maybe keg it in the morning and then drink it that same night. Or what I kind of like to do is just set it in there and then just periodically check it. Make sure I've got a constant pressure around 25, 30 psi, and I just maybe take the long road on that one. So there is that. So I will get this little guy in the fridge, keep an eye on it every now and then, just make sure everything is working out okay, and I've got good pressure on all that, so we are looking pretty good. So that's kind of in a nutshell kegging, and hopefully we've got some other stuff coming up. We'll do like to try to do an all grain batch here. Just waiting on the weather to be nice and consistent, and we'll get outside and we'll do one of those. So thanks for tuning in. We will iron out the kinks and maybe get some filtering done a little bit better next time. So thanks for watching. Have yourself a drink, and good luck.